Buses. Despite how much you may dislike the smell, the noise and the people, there is no denying that this vehicle has brought mobility to the masses. But how did they come to be? And why am I making a documentary about them? This is Buses and Coaches, a brief history. If we want to discover where our buses came from, we must first venture back in time. In 1662, a man called Blaise Pascal launched a bus service called Carriages in Paris. Sadly though, operation ceased 15 years later, and no one else picked up on the idea until the 1820s. This is a horse-drawn bus, a spacious, enclosed vehicle drawn by horses and used mainly in the USA before the introduction of motor vehicles. During the 19th century, these were one of the most commonly found transportation methods in cities, and that fact remained for one whole century through the rise and fall of steam buses. This, originally known as a steam carriage, is a bus powered by a steam engine. These were originally pioneered in the 1830s in England by many and were created to run on roads that were too hazardous for horse-drawn buses. They were faster, cheaper and safer than previous generations, and yet, once again, this bus was abandoned through the discouraging road tolls that, along with harsh legislation, effectively rid the roads of these buses. Then along came the Locomotive Act that limited the vehicles to minute speeds, further eliminating this form of transport. In 1896, through a change of the law, came the motor vehicle, alike in many ways to the bus we know today. The change brought petrol bus services to many UK places, ridding the roads of horse buses. Great, so now we know how our buses exist, but let's make it a bit more local. In 1895, Bristol became the first city in the UK to use electric trams. At the service's highest point, it included 17 routes and 237 tramcars. Two companies merged to create this, creating the Bristol Tramways and Carriage Company. This service ran until 1941, when a World War II bomb hit the main power cables. From 1887 to 1987, the Bristol Omnibus Company were the main operators in Bristol. They also ran in Gloucestershire, Somerset, Wiltshire and other close counties. The service was started by the same man who owned one of the companies in the tram merge, George White. They began running motor buses in 1906 after various versions of horse-drawn vehicles and the previously mentioned trams. You know what? I think I like buses.